Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing an haute horlogerie option launched by Cartier in 2014. This is the Cartier tank Louis Cartier Sapphire skeleton, and it is everything the name implies. This part of the tank line that dates back to 1917, arguably the Cartier model line. It's 30 millimeters across in white gold. It is 39.2 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. It is 7.5 millimeters thick, and it has a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. And you can see, like most form watches, it wears a little big for its rated size. Don't think of this as a 30 millimeter watch because it doesn't wear anything like a 30 millimeter round watch. Think of it more like a 40 millimeter round watch, and you get approximately the idea of how it fits. It is super flat and easily slides under a cuff, so no issues there. And you can see on my wrist, 16 centimeters circumference, it really is a pretty good fit. I would say down to a wrist size of 14 centimeters circumference, you can wear this watch. Now, the strap is substantial. Cartier does not short you the material. You can see that there's a little bit of a recess between the lugs that allows the strap to be very close hauled to the case, creating a highly integrated look. So there's almost no daylight showing between strap and case. It's almost as though the watch were on some sort of an integrated bracelet. Now we have large rectangular scale alligator leather in black with a matte finish. There's a lot of bolstering to give it volume. You can see it has a folded edge, and then on the underside, made in France, probably by Camille Fournet, which is an OEM supplier to a lot of Richemont brands. It's calfskin on the underside. It is a Cartier factory strap. And we have here the latest version of an evolving deployant clasp, first created by Louis Cartier back in 1909, when it was the world's first wristwatch deployant clasp by decades. So the idea now and the idea then was to make it harder to accidentally drop the watch when you're donning it or removing it. You could see that it has a little bit of a wire motif outboard, though it's a conventional swing arm inside. Like the case, it is made of white gold, and it works by crimping the strap. So you actually tuck the strap in, then you crimp it, so there's no need for holes in the strap. It's a very clean system that tucks excess strap length under the clasp body, so when it's sized and closed, there's no need for strap minders. You may wonder, what are strap minders? These are strap minders. This watch does not need them. Okay, taking a quick look at what else comes with this watch, it is a classical tank case, and as you can see, in order to make it super thin, the case construction relies on laterally inserted screws to hold some of the components of the mid case in place. The edges are pillars that act as sort of twin spars for the watch. They are polished, they are white gold, and they are symmetrical from end to end. We have a beaded push-down crown with a blue sapphire cabochon, and we have a mildly cambered crystal. You can see, although the lugs are flat, the crystal is not flat. It actually rises up over the center, which is a handsome and unexpected refinement. We have polished gadroons at the top and the bottom, framing a dial that is one and the same as the caliber, which is Cartier MC9616. So a manufacturer movement that sits on a large circular construction. You can see the combination of bridges and plates suspended, almost floating within the watch. The movement is a manual wind twin barrel with a beat rate of 4 hertz or 8 beats per second. The twin barrels endow the watch with a 3-day power reserve. All of this, as you can see, is water resistant down to 30 meters. They are individually numbered. The twin barrels don't just give the watch a longish 3-day power reserve, they also contribute to a more even release of torque, so the watch doesn't experience a big drop off in amplitude like a single barrel movement would. So there are a couple of different logics to using the twin barrels. They look good, especially these skeletonized barrels that let you view the coiling of the mainsprings as a sort of impromptu unofficial power reserve indicator. So they give you a longer power reserve and a more even torque release on top of that. Now you can see the movement uses Edichron for beat error correction and fine timing adjustments, which I like to see because Edichron is a very robust and precise system that allows for very exacting adjustment of a watch. You can see this 21 jewel movement is beautifully finished. I would actually say this is a higher standard than you'll find on, for example, any standard Audemars Piguet Royal Oak or Code 1159. Though it's a combination of manual and mechanical executions, the mirrored profile of the beveling is particularly impressive. There's satination across most of the surfaces, though if you look carefully you can see that some of the features, such as the recessed bridge on which the seconds hand is mounted, some of these recessed features are actually media blasted, and if you look carefully you can see that the movement does have thickness, and the vertical sections, let me see how close I can get here, the vertical sections of the movement, not the top, not the back, but the sections in between, feature satination. It's difficult to see, but it's there. All the screw heads are black polished, and we have lovely blued hands for the hours, minutes, and seconds. There's a lovely seashell-shaped or snailed black polished clutch spring for the keyless works mechanism, which is easy to see. And once that's engaged, you can operate the motion works, which controls the position of the hand, and all is laid bare. The balance and the escapement are front and center, giving you 90% of the pleasure of a tourbillon for 10% of the price. This is true haute horlogerie Cartier watchmaking, and among the finest ever to hail from the manufacturer in La Chaux-de-Fonds. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.